Satnam. I'm Krishna Kaur, and I'd like to share a little story with you about the mantra Guru Guru Waheguru, Guru Ram Das Guru, and how it came that we all are now chanting it as a way of just being with Guru Ram Das. It all started in 1971. We had just arrived in India. We actually left the United States in 1970. Yogi Bhajan was heading back to India for the first time in 2 years. And he had with him 85 yoga students dedicated who were going to India for the very first time in their lives. And I was one of those students. In fact, I was Yogi Bhajan's personal attendant on that journey, which was very exciting. We arrived in India, and all the plans that Yogi Bhajan had made from the U.S., and all the money that he had sent to India for our arrangements and for our travel and for our care, for our food, for everything, no longer existed. It was gone, all of it. And there were no arrangements adequate enough to suit all 85 of us students. So that was the beginning of our journey, a challenge right off the bat. So Yogi Bhajan, he talked to friends, he talked with SGPC, he found a way to get buses to trek us around from village to village, town to town, wherever he could make temporary arrangements for us until he was able to settle us down at Amritsar. And so we traveled, sometimes overnight and sometimes staying a couple of days and sometimes moving on after just a few hours, until we finally found ourselves at a place called, we refer to it as the Mango Farm. We were at the Mango Farm for several weeks, actually. It was the longest stay that we had outside of Amritsar, where many of the students were able to travel around and visit some of the great sites that were there in India, including the Taj Mahal and places. But our journey was to actually get to Amritsar. In a little village outside of Amritsar, where we stayed, a situation came up for Yogi Bhajan, and I'll tell you how that happened. In addition to having the issues built around not having arrangements, not having the money spent in the way that he had directed, there were also the challenges of those who were very upset that he would dare to introduce the teachings, the science and yoga of Kundalini Yoga to these Westerners. They were very, very adamant that he was out of order, that he should not have broken that seal of secrecy and shared these teachings with the Western people. They felt that we didn't have a sense, an iota of spirituality in us. We had no sense of what it meant to have teachings like this in our possession. They felt that he had betrayed the sacred trust by giving these teachings to us. And he was clear. He said, no, these teachings are for everybody. We're moving out of the Piscean age. We're moving into the Aquarian age, where all knowledge and all wisdom is available to everyone. But they were so incensed about it that many of them threatened his life. He was actually living on that journey for the fear or threat of his life. But we kept on moving here and moving there, trying to find a place where we could be comfortable and confident as we proceeded to journey towards Amritsar. There were also challenges about the fact that they wanted to know who his guru was. He'd had a teacher that he was relating to before he went to the United States, but that teacher betrayed him. And he said, okay, no longer will I have a teacher in human form, but my teacher is Guru Ram Das. He had previously in his young life, he'd had experiences with Guru Ram Das as his teacher. When he went to bow at the Golden Temple, scrub the floor to the Golden Temple to clear his karmas, he realized then and there that the Guru Ram Das was his teacher. So he said to them, Guru Ram Das is my teacher. He said, oh no, Guru Ram Das can't be your teacher. He's no longer here on the planet. No. He says, Guru Ram Das is my teacher. So, well, if he's your teacher, where's your mantra? A teacher has to give you a mantra. Where's your mantra? He says, don't worry. In time you will find. Meanwhile, we're still moving around from village to village, town to town, in these buses. We arrived at a place just outside of Amritsar. And my job, one of my duties was to prepare him or help him prepare himself for sadhana every morning by massaging his feet. This one morning when I go into his room, instead of him being under his covers, snug with his feet hanging out, waiting for me to come and massage his feet, he was sitting on top of his bed. He said, oh Krishna, I have not slept all night. Guru Ram Das has been with me all night. And he gave me this mantra. He said, if we chant this mantra, we will be safe, we'll be protected, and we'll be guided. We will be guided through every challenge, every obstacle we will face. And so as I was massaging his feet, he taught me the mantra. Guru Guru Waheguru, Guru Ram Das Guru. And we chanted and we sang and we sang and we chanted. And on the way to the sadhana room, which was about 3 blocks away from where we were staying, we held onto each other's hands because it was dark. You couldn't see the street. There were so many potholes there. Just to keep from falling into the potholes, we just hung on to each other and chanted and sang this mantra all the way to the hall where we did sadhana. Once we got there, he taught the mantra to the other students. He said to everyone, when all else fails, chant this mantra. Guru Ram Das, who has protected us all this time, through all these places we've gone and stayed and looked for a place to hold ourselves in sacredness, Guru Ram Das has been guiding us the whole time. And this is your mantra. And he taught it like this. Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ram Das Guru. Hold your hands at your heart and join me. Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ram Das Guru 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 Guru Ram Das Guru Guru Ram Das Guru. Now we have so many beautiful melodies and renditions of this mantra. The one that always takes me right back to that moment, right back to that time in our lives when we were walking through the village and when we were chanting on the buses. It just takes me right back to that time, and I feel the city of Singh Sahib Yogi Bhajan's presence so strongly. That's why I like to share that version of it with you. And we're entering into Yogi Bhajan's birthday celebration season. And people all over the world are going to be chanting this mantra. I hope that we remember where it came from, and that it is the mantra that will guide us, keep us safe, heal us, and protect us. And just as he stood firm and courageous and never wavered when facing the many obstacles and challenges that he faced, we can do the same. When we meet challenges, when we meet obstacles, we can do exactly what he did. Let's chant to Guru Ram Das, knowing that we're going to be just fine. We're going to be safe. We're going to be guided. We're going to be protected. Thanks for being with me. And enjoy this season.